What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to a brand new episode on my channel. As always, I'm Jay, and today, guys, I finally finished Iron Fist Season 2. And guys, I gotta say, it took me a little while to watch this, and after the first 3 episodes, it became kind of a little bit of a chore for me. I don't know why. But the thing is that I really wasn't motivated to finish the season, to be quite honest, until I heard news of it being canceled. But to add to that, I really didn't feel that extra kick until I finished watching Season 3 of Daredevil, which that'll be a separate video that I kind of talk about and review, because I also finished that as well. And the thing about it is, Iron Fist, out of all the shows, got the kind of lion's share of the blame for being kind of the downfall of the Netflix shows. Luke Cage, Jessica Jones, and Iron Fist, they didn't live quite up to the expectations that Daredevil had set, and arguably they're less important characters, or not less important, I don't think, but less infamous characters, and that could have something to do with it. But also with Iron Fist's case, there was kind of this lackluster feeling around audience members who actually watched and experienced the show. I mean, they complained that the fighting was lacking, especially when you compared the fighting scenes in Daredevil Season 1 and even some stuff that ended up happening in other shows. They felt like Danny Rand as a hero didn't carry the show too well. They felt like all these kind of different factors pulling in, and especially pacing and length and storyline, really didn't deliver us something that was of the Netflix Marvel moniker. And the thing is that really is what everyone had in their minds going into this second season. Now, from the first season to The Defenders, people did agree that Danny Rand was becoming a much better Iron Fist and more enjoyable, and his little cameo in the second season of Luke Cage did wonders for the character, and you really felt his mindset and everything. So, seeing this second season, you really felt like there was hope and promise of a better version of Danny and kind of a good direction for the show to head into. This second season of Iron Fist was leaps and bounds much better in quality when we're talking about this versus the first season. Story, characters, delivery, just everything in general. And there were a lot of different things that I really feel are noteworthy in this case. First and foremost, the good part of it. Danny Rand, top notch. And I didn't have a problem with Danny in the first season. I just felt like he went around saying, "I'm the immortal Iron Fist" too much. On top of that, you had Colleen coming back. I mean, she had a different sort of arc and everything, because at this point in time, we see her where she really doesn't want to do any fighting, and then we see Danny, who's really just rushing into everything, and all he wants to do is fighting, which is kind of a contrast there. But I loved what they did with this as far as the villains and stuff goes, which really only focuses on one, which is Davos, who in the comics is the Steel Serpent, and in this was kind of the one who ended up sitting by Danny's side and kind of training with him to actually become the Iron Fist. And technically it was supposed to be his birthright, or so he believed, but the thing is that Danny beat him in the contest, and he'd never forgiven Danny for that. The way that they did this story and line and everything like that was very much centering around Davos stealing the powers of the Iron Fist for himself from Danny, and that kind of leaves Danny in this kind of position where it's like, oh my god, what the hell do I do? Aside from all that stuff, the fighting was a lot more top-notch. It actually felt like a happy medium, a little bit more of a serious version of like a Jackie Chan type of style and everything, and I really enjoyed that. And compared to the first season, they did wonders. They had a lot of cool fight scenes, and you saw Danny using the Iron Fist capability a lot more. Now, it was a little upsetting, though, to see him still not have 2 Iron Fists, and then, what do you know, when Davos gets the power, he's using both of his fists, and I'm just like, well, what the hell, people? Are we gonna show no love to Danny Rand? I mean, are we not going to show him be the awesome badass that he's supposed to be, doing the kung fu and using all of his powers at the peak of their ability? And I guess not, because what they did at the tail end of this season was, instead of giving the powers back to Danny, they gave the fucking powers to Colleen. Like, I'm watching the show for Danny Rand to be the Iron Fist, and because I grew up with that. But then all of a sudden, they make an executive decision. Oh, well, I don't think I deserve it, Colleen. I think you should have it. Danny, stop being a little fucking bitch. But then on top of that, she's like, I don't want it. I don't want it. I don't want it. And then all of a sudden, okay, I'll take it. I'll do it. I'll whatever. So that happens. And then she becomes the Iron Fist. I'm just like, why do people have to feel the need to take perfectly good mythologies and twist them the fuck up? Like, there was no point in her becoming the Iron Fist. She didn't train for this. She didn't grow into it. And shoehorning the Iron Fist, the symbol, the actual dragon symbol on the back of that pendant that she had for the jewelry box was such a freaking cop-out. It's like, what I go back to is all the criticism that the first season got from people who don't even know what the hell they're talking about, who aren't even fans. Oh, why is Danny the Iron Fist? He isn't Asian. That's the whole fucking point, people, is that Danny ended up growing up a fish out of water his entire life, and that this outsider was able to obtain the power of the Iron Fist. How is that a hard concept to figure out? One of the criticisms, word for word, was Colleen should be the Iron Fist. She's more of a better fighter and she deserves it more. And then that's when it clicked. This show was hijacked by people giving half-assed criticisms who never grew up with any of the comics, who never understood the source material. Yes, it's a tradition that is primarily transitioned to people of Asian descent and has been done by many different people, but the whole point is that Danny is the Iron Fist because he was chosen. It was his destiny. And the thing that I don't understand, and I will never really get, is why do they need to change the source material so damn much? Now, I know what you're saying. All you people out there are probably like, oh, you're just mansplaining. You're just mad because it's a woman being the Iron Fist. Actually, no. I wouldn't be mad if Danny actually got killed, because that means he has to have his power be transferred to somebody else. But the point is that giving her the power did not enhance Colleen's experience for me. If you're going to do something like that or have that be a plot device, have it mean something. It meant literally nothing to me. Nothing. But alas, before I get off the rails too much, at the end of the show, Colleen's the Iron Fist, and Danny has decided to run away to find the lineage of the Iron Fist, or find the history of the Iron Fist and everything like that. So what does he do? He brings Ward with him. Ward, who was significantly better in this season, but still not quite useful. But overall, I'm watching it, and I'm already clocked out. At this point, I'm actually glad that the show has been canceled. So what do they do on me? They pull a freaking switch on me. Because at the end of the show, it's a few months later, you see Colleen busting up some criminals who are robbing someplace, and she's got her sword and her white glowing hand, because apparently when the Iron Fist is transferred to her, she's got the heavenly angel powers of white light and everything. We cut to Japan, and we see Ward in a Japanese bar, sushi bar, regular bar, whatever it is, and he's talking to these people about a shipment, and what happens is he's talking to these people who have a boss named Orson Randall. If you're a fan of Iron Fist, Orson Randall was one of the many long lines of Iron Fist holders. And actually he teamed up with Danny using pistols and everything and fighting ninjas and stuff like that. A few moments later, he's getting antagonized, he's about to get jumped, and then all of a sudden Danny pops up and he's like, oh, this and this, and then he pulls back a trench coat and he's got some guns, and I'm like, no. Danny fights with his fists, and then all of a sudden he pulls up the guns, his fists start glowing, like he did when the Iron Fist was with him, and he shoots the bullets, and they have concentrated chi. What? Like, really? Holy shit. And then at that point, the show ends. The show ends, and I'm like, no! You can't do this to me! You just did it! No! You didn't! No! 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 Oh, man. So, honestly, guys, I don't know what to make of my feelings of this. I really did want them to continue the show. Obviously, with Danny as the Iron Fist, we've already established that. But the thing is that now that they had this, you know, I think this would have been prime example and prime time to actually, like, really get down to the nitty-gritty, show some flashbacks of the old Iron Fists and everything in action. Kind of like Avatar, The Last Airbender, or Highlander, or anything like that. I mean, oh, that would have set it off so much. Now, do I think that it would still work if they do the Heroes for Hire? Absolutely, because Heroes for Hire, you know what you do? You set up how they are at the end of each season, and maybe for the first season you have them kind of bring Luke Cage to his senses. I could very easily see them bringing the show back and kind of having them do that dynamic. But again, as a fan of Danny Rand and a fan of the Iron Fist, bring Danny back as the Iron Fist. Bring him back as the Iron Fist. Don't have him just be some guy with like pistols that do the Iron Fist thing. Have him be the legitimate Iron Fist. I want him to have both of his hands lit up so that he can do some duking out and everything. People are saying, rumors are swirling about them canceling all these shows for these to be put on the Disney app. Go for it. But you know what you want to give me? You want to give me some Heroes for Hire? That'll be fine. But if you do continue the Iron Fist route, Have him participate in the tournament. The 7 capital cities of heaven, bro. Kunlun and all the different fighters and everything. That would have been badass. That would have been awesome. But overall, guys, Season 2 of Iron Fist, it did. It ended up bringing it up a little bit, but of course it's canceled. Do I think it's going to come back? Probably not anytime soon, but if it does, the chance would be on the Disney streaming app or streaming service, but I just don't see it, man. And I'm kind of torn. It's like, again, I thought that they did a lot of good stuff with the second season, but again, I don't like how they ended up switching it up and giving the Iron Fist powers to Colleen. Now, one could argue maybe she's just holding on to the powers, or that there can be multiple Iron Fists. Yeah, okay, I can get that. And if that's the case, then that's fine. But for me, guys, I am an Iron Fist purist, so I want the main person who is Iron Fist to be the Iron Fist. So overall, out of this one, I give this a 3 out of 5 as far as a rating. I definitely recommend you guys seeing it. Even though the show is canceled, it still is worth the watch and definitely worth your time for sure. And guys, I mean, what else is there to say? Iron Fist 2 seasons deep. Well, 2.5 plus an episode from the other series and everything. But overall, guys, Iron Fist Season 2 was a great watch. If you haven't seen it, definitely take a look at it. Let me know what you thought about Season 2 of Iron Fist down in the comments section. And do you hope that they bring it back at some point? Or would you rather, like me, get a Heroes for Hire show with all of them in one? Anyway, guys, remember, like, comment, subscribe. If you are subscribed, please hit that bell button. That way you never miss a video. And as always, guys, I'm Jay. Take care.